Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing? I hope you are well. We are back claiming to finish this carriage again. We've done that for a month now. Every week just turned up. Yep, we're going to finish this tonight when we haven't, but this time we are. He says, hopefully. I was going to do bits to it through the week, as we discussed, but the shop was really busy and I didn't have time, basically. I got home from the shop and was like, no, I'm not doing anything. But still, shop busy is good. So all we need to really do is rain strips, the roof on the birdcage and rain strips on that. Sort out the bogies so they can actually turn properly, because at the moment they're rather stuck in there. And in fact the wheels are scraping on the bottom of the carriage floor, which is no good. And that's really about it that we're going to be doing, because buffers will be sprung buffers that I don't have at the moment, because they're going to get markets ones. I'm going to get them from Roxy. I've got quite a few bits I want to order from Roxy, so I'll be doing that in the new year. And the grab handles for the doors, it says to do those after painting. I might do them before if we have time to kill, because I can paint them gold again fine, it won't be a problem. Oh, and the vacuum pipes, we need to add the vacuum pipes as well. I might have to go and get my vacuum pipes from the other room at some point later. But, you know, we're close. We've got 3 hours to do it. We might even put something on the inside if there's time. I don't know that we will. We probably won't, if I'm being completely honest. But you never know. It at least needs some strips putting down inside it, because, you know, the partitions don't reach all the way through. I shouldn't really be able to do that. So I'll put the screws on those loosely so they didn't fall off. But when they're pressed right in, that is how far up they currently sit. So that is not really much good unless you want a rigid 8-wheel carriage, which in this case we don't, maybe in the future. Now, I have been playing about with measuring these off camera, and all we really want to lift it by is about the thickness of the nut. That did really well for my focus there. I'm glad I tried to show you that. So for now, I've got a bit of plastic pipe that can slot over there. It can be cut to the thickness of the nut. It might be a bit too thin and not give us enough stability on the bogies. If that's the case, then I will have to find something a bit thicker. Possibly one of these cut down. But at the same time, you don't want it to be too thick, because you don't want it to restrict any movement. So as I say, I have played about with this, and it only really needs to be the thickness of the nut. Would you not be better using the washers or even making some out of plastic card? Almost definitely. Require me to have some. But yeah, that's cut a slight bit of an angle and is in fact slightly too short. So that went well. That's alright, we never do things on the first try. I mean, okay, sometimes we do. Probably most of the time, but that's not the point. The point is it's okay not to. Right, there we go, Linny. Plasticard. It's in fact the plasticard I used for building the turntable on Bright Helmstone, because that is scratch built plasticard. These are going to be the side drill bits I'm going to want through it, aren't they? Let me check. See, I do have stuff. It says on the first try is overrated. Exactly. Yes, that is. I mean, I don't have a drill that can hold it, but that's not the point. Pilot hole. Now where did I put that? There it is. So I am going to wrap some electrical tape around the end of this drill bit. Not the sharp cutty end, but the other end. And that gives me something to hold on to. See? Any drill bit can be a hand drill bit if you try hard enough. That sit up over there quite nicely. It's not actually thick enough. It needs to be slightly thicker, so I'm going to do 2 of these on each side. Good evening, Killian. How are you? I hope you are well. And yes, Anthony, necessity is indeed the mother of invention. Well, thank and yourself. I am very well, thank you. Glad to be sat at the workbench after a long week at the shop. Long as it was busy, not because it was bad. That's a bit better. Look, they can turn now. And there is the bot to remind you all to smash that like button or give it a gentle tap, whichever you prefer. And make sure to subscribe and all that other good YouTubey goodness whilst you're at it. My oldest daughter, a long time ago when she was little, bragged to her grandfather, "My dad can fix anything with duct tape and glue." Well, I mean, what else do you need? Maybe WD-40 in case it doesn't move, but it should. But, you know. With one more of these, we should be able to put the carriage the right way up and have the wheels actually turn on it. At least that's the theory. If I put two of those on each side, I should really be a bit more precise about this and check buffer heights and stuff. Put those back on so it doesn't all fall everywhere when I turn it back up the right way. And now the wheels are not scraping on the bottom and they can turn inside there. And that looks about the right height next to the Bachmann one to me. There we go. Bachmann and Mallard models sat side by side, or end on end for the first time. Hopefully you can spot some of the differences between the two designs there. Need to check that against the Dapol Terrier. No, definitely not. You can't even check blooming Dapol Terrier buffers against Dapol Terriers. Plus, terrible, shocking news for everyone. There's an 01 sat next to me. There's a Great Western 101, there's a Lord of the Isles, there's an Adams Radial, there's a Trione Dock Shunter. There is not a Terrier. Good evening, Lewis. How are you? I hope you are well. And there we go. Just get rid of the burrs off those two bits. And then off those. I'm doing good, Fez. What about you? I am very well, thank you. I've had a very good week in my shop and it's left me in a really good mood. There we go. So now, for the first time in this build, we're going to get the glue out. Couple of blobs on the bottom of that. And on the top. So, okay, you can share a link to my... I would love to let you do that, but for some reason, YouTube doesn't let me have links posted. I have it all set up, and it's always been set up to allow links. But for some reason, it doesn't let anyone post them in the live chat. I don't know what it is. It's really annoying because it lets spam bots leave links in the comments under my videos, but it doesn't let people leave links in my chat. Good evening, Bob. I am very well, thanks. How are you? Absolutely fantastic to see you posting on the Cambrian Street thread again. I look forward to however you decide to turntable. Hydration is important, everyone. So yes, with those glued on, the bogies could now sit in place on here properly. It'll at least stop them going missing. Well, until the whole coach goes missing. Chipper, thanks. Been a busy Saturday on the SVR, so relaxing watching the Master at work. Wow. Good to hear you've had a good day and you are good. There we are. One carriage properly on its wheels. So the next step, I think, is to add the rain strips to this roof. Which means turning the soldering iron on. Seems reasonably stable. Even when I'm trying to pull it over, it's going back. Speaking of drinks, I think I may go and make myself a cup of tea. That sounds like a fantastic idea, Lewis. Hydration is, after all, important. So our rain strips will be made of this brass rod. That one, oh, that one looks the perfect length. I was just thinking, oh no, that's not going to be long enough. I'm going to have to get some more of this. But no, that one looks to be exactly the right length. I'm still going to have to get more of it. Totally not looking at the American logos now. Can't imagine why. And in fact, that bit was too long. So we're going to want to cut that down. Oh, I still want to stick with 4mm though, Linny. But I do want an 040 Porter. That's no good. There we go. So the way we're going to do this, for those that haven't seen it before, we clean up the edge of the roof where we want to put it. We've already accepted that we will need to do a bit of reshaping on the roof. And in fact, the rain strip will pull it slightly more out of shape as well. So we don't worry about bending it out of shape as we clean it up ready for soldering. We don't get you an 040 recently. Or an 040 Porter. Even if we did buy an 042 on the game. Okay, we probably shouldn't bend it that much out of shape. That was silly. I'm going to clean up our brass strip a bit as well, because this is probably quite dirty. And then I'm going to look around and go, where's my flux? And then found it, so it's fine. And then we want the centre line of the roof, which is when it would really help if I had a ruler longer than the rule 1. I mean, the rule 1 is excellent, you should all have one. This is a 4mm scale one. But even this ruler is not much help. Considering ground base rather than people like turn their flat, I don't want to cut a hole in the board. Find I fouled up. I'm too solid north of the neck to attempt anything complicated. Fair enough, Bob. So you go with the X Airfix kit then. Makes sense. I built one of those years ago. Never did much with it, but I did build one. They are excellent, Tom. So you're right, Linny. It does have a centre finder. The problem is it's a bit shorter than the roof. That's a clever idea, Killian. Well done. Now I just need a bit of paper. Oh look, it's a bit of paper. I should do this from this side. Been successful job completed with no bloodshed. Why, that is a very successful job. Sometimes I do stuff like that. And so there's our centre line. Yes. Well done, Killian. So with the centre line found, bit of flux, brass roof scraping over glass is a horrible. It's just as horrible here. Kevlar is a tough material to sew through. I can imagine that. Yeah, so we're going to put a bit of solder on our centre line. we can just take our bit of brass, apply some flux to that, and guess what? We're going to put some solder on the centre of that as well. We then get it nice and centrally lined up. Heat the two, and there we are. So the rain strip is now joined in the centre of the roof. So what we do from there is we bend it down and solder the ends in place, and that gives us a nice consistent curve over the entirety of the roof. Technique shamelessly stolen from someone on RM Web, but I can't remember who. So unfortunately I cannot credit them. That's what I say, Kevlar. That's a breaches. The offence is you need good breaches when someone's coming after you with a sword. Yeah. So you can see, should just about be able to see, we have a rain strip along there. Obviously, it will show up a lot better when it's not all shiny and golden. But now we can apply some flux all the way along. Hi back, I am Gary. There we go. If you didn't want dad jokes, you came to the wrong place. Where are they? There they are. No, we want solder. So there is that side of the rain strip all attached. Homemade chili here, yummy, very nice. Just let my tea cool down a bit. Good plan. Not a problem I have when streaming, because I'm drinking cold drinks and by the end of the stream they've warmed up. And there we go, just like that. One rain strip all in place. And it's just kind of no breaches, just loose braces. There. See what I mean about me not being able to English? If you were here early enough, you do. Just going to spread this bit out a bit here because it's all blobbed up. And of course now we need to do the other side. Yep, that's how we don't want to bend it, remember? So, you know, you lot don't do that. Now that I've shown you what not to do, you can not do it. But I make these mistakes, so you don't have to. And then we've got our brass rod again. 0.5, I think. And we already know where our centre line is because we checked earlier. So again, small bit of solder on the centre line of the carriage. And a small bit on the centre of the rod to form our rain strip. hold it in place and join them together. And then some flux and a drop of solder at each end. And that'll give us our nice consistent curve. Good evening, Mark. How are you? I hope you are well. You join us putting the finishing touches onto this roof. Look at that, and I didn't even burn myself. That was definitely some of the most awkward positioning of a soldering iron I've ever done. Hydration is important, everyone. Okay, pharmacist must be off time to open my praises. Well, enjoy your praises. I hope they are good. Happy birthday. Thank you for coming. Has been great having you here. And good evening, Alexander. How are you? I hope you are well. So again, just like we did before, just running in a small amount of solder. To get a join all along the rain strip. Because we don't want it coming off. Not many sleeps out. No. And next time we are sat here will be the other side of Christmas. And on that note, thanks to popular demand, we will be here next Sunday on Boxing Day. Because it's what you all wanted. We won't be doing building. Because, you know, I might not be in a fit state for that. So we're going to do some shunting next week. With my new 2-camera setup. Jeff Soldering Iron is hot. It's only 480 degrees. It's fine. But yeah, so next week you can see what it looks like when I actually put thought into doing things. What's that in hand egg pictures? Up truck. In Fahrenheit, that is 896 degrees. And all I can say is that's a large number. Right then, rain strips are done. Wahey. Now it's really looking something quite complete. Probably looks no different to you on camera quality. It does here. It's all bent up in the middle. So next thing we are going to do is the roof on here. Today I learned while dealing with silly units, the speed of light is roughly lots of furlongs per fortnight. I mean, furlongs per fortnight is an interesting one. 1.8 trillion. 1.8 trillion is a lot. Someone have the emergency service on speed dial just in case Gary burns himself because he may need some new fingers. Hang on, can we still see my burn from the other day? Let's have a look. I can't remember which finger it was. No, can't find it. So at the shop, so here for cleaning my soldering iron. Look, if I turn these lights on, I can see what I'm doing. I have my nice little thing here for cleaning it, and it gives me a lovely shiny tip, wonderfully clean. I don't have one of those at the shop. In fact, I don't have anything to clean the tips with at the shop. So, and let me just stress, do not try this at home. If we pretend this is my soldering iron, at the shop, to clean the tip when it's all covered in solder and useless, I take my knife and run it down there and just spin the soldering iron round as I do that. And I do it quite fast. Now, normally this is fine. This week, however, in fact, possibly yesterday, I did that and a big blob of solder flew off the end and landed on me. Remind me to never let you use my soldering iron. The shop's one, when I inherited the shop's one, it was already a terrible soldering iron in need of a new tip. Let me point that out. At some point, I am going to buy the shop a new soldering iron and a tip cleaner. That's just not yet. If anything, what I've done to that blade, to that tip so far, has made it better. So what we need now is a roof that goes sort of up, over and down. I'm making absolutely no sense there, and I'm aware of that. Allow me to cut off a bit that's way too long, but more manageable than having all this. Harry, no. But I want the cookie. Training come through. Okay, well then. But yeah, so that was fun, that injury. You know, at the moment I thought, if you travel at speed greater than light that bounces off you, then stopped, would you see yourself coming? It's a good question. So the roof has to go down the side there and then curve round and come down the other side. That's what I was trying to say. So we get a curvy bit that's sort of, but not quite, this shape. That's what I was trying to describe. Poorly, I know. Yes, I know. I will. You sound like you're on Little Britain there, Christopher. Yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but. For those who don't know brass, and I'm wondering how I'm managing to cut this as well as I am each time. It's got a grain, and I'm just following the grain. Or, you know, cutting at 90 degrees to the grain. I think so. Oh, there it is. YouTuber thought. The YouTuber thought I was talking about model locomotives when I said I was thinking about building 3 Bully Pacifics and 2 Halls and 2 Bag Arabs when I actually meant full-size locos. Well, I mean, That's quite a big shed you've got if you're building those full size. The question is, why would you build full size replicas of things that are preserved? No, that is the right way round. That's my straight side. I want to lose a tiny bit more of that. There we go, one roof for the birdcage. See, I do know what I'm doing. Honest, Gov. And I can't stick it on here yet. But I could stick it to this. Which would then give those some strength. Locomotives I'd like to rebuild were either built and then scrapped or were never actually built. But Bullet Pacifics and halls and stuff were built and do still exist. Hydration is still important. But I think what we'll do before attempting to join this to anything is give it some rain strips. They're actually quite a bit higher up on these bits, aren't they? Can't see them on the drawing. Not hugely, but yeah, a little bit. On this bit, I can use the centre finder on the rule one. That was way too much. But there we are. Snips. and a little bit there. So this is exactly the same principle as last time, just bigger. Oh yes, that's correct, but half the locomotives that I would like to rebuild have names that were never given to them. But why would you do? Why would you not just do that in model form? What use are they in full size when there are already existing members of the class? That is my question. What would you do with these new builds? Such as Severn Valley and White Star Line. Take them different heritage lines and around the world. I mean, but there's already ones that do that, is again my point. There we go, a lot easier to see on the smaller one, although that's a lot less neat than the bigger ones, unfortunately. Really hot as well. But it's going to roll all the way off when I knocked the carriage there. I'm glad it didn't. Could you use the money and labour to restore a load of engines that have been preserved but not restored rather than building new ones? See, that's where I'd put the money if I had it. Restoration before new builds. Or new builds of types that have been scrapped completely. Want to do this because I think that it's sad to see a locomotive rusting a siding or scrapped and then cut up. So why not restore one of the ones that is currently sat rusting in a siding instead of building new ones? There we go. And another one done. So now we have our birdcage roof with its rain strips. But I'll do a virtual JU52 from room to lead. Plan to restore Wellington Hall, but I don't think it's possible. Anything's possible with enough money thrown at it. That's the joys of capitalism. I sold a JU52 in the shop yesterday, Christopher. Not heard of one mentioned for ages before that, and the kit we had been sat there for ages. What's your budget, Lewis? Tornado? It cost $3 million to build. Another one done. Another one done. Another one is complete. Not doing the tune properly. That's JU52. It's a German airliner slash parachute plane. What scale was it? It was a Revell one. I've got a feeling 48 scale. J52 French German interwar designed airliner there. Yeah, it was the box art was a red one called Manfred von Richthofen. It's a very nice aircraft. I've always liked free-engined aircraft. That is the 48th then. Nice. Excellent. See, I do know stuff occasionally about my own life. Obviously, I should bit my tongue. Great news that Hagley Hall's boiler and firebox has been reunited with its frames this weekend. Also, the tall chimney casting has been tested. Hopefully 2022 will see her back in steam. Fantastic news, Bob. A return to steam is always good news. Still haven't visited the Revell factory. It's not that far from here. Ah. I suppose not being that far from there would explain why the livery is missing a certain feature on the tail. For that much, Lewis, you could spare some money for Gary to build his D1. Yeah, you could. I think I asked for 10 million for that. I don't know what the donate link is. Exclamation mark donate in the chat. I'll let you deal with that there, yeah? In the meantime, hydration is important. It's also gone into the paint shop for cosmetic work to start. Fantastic. That is excellent, Bob. Well, that's how are we all this Sunday evening. I am very well, thank you, Thomas. How are you? Hot that bit when you do that. A number of European countries don't allow that particular ancient symbol of good luck. Oh, fair enough. I know that Austria doesn't. And whilst I'm not a fan of glorifying that particular symbol, it does seem a shame to not have it on the airliner. One slight problem, Gary, I don't have 200 million or 10 million. Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I was joking when I mentioned actually donating it. I was aware of that, Lewis. That's a bit better looking. It's still really hot. Anyone who's interested can see lovely images of her on the Friends of Hagley Hall webpage. Excellent. Go have a look, everyone. Tad drained from my cousin's wedding yesterday, but other than that, I'm all good. What are you for weddings? Had one of those once. Wheels fell off. I wouldn't want to sully the 52 with it if I build a civvy one. I mean, thing is, the livery did have it. I can see your point. But I do feel there's a bit too much, historical modelling isn't there to whitewash history. I know you're joking. I approve when wheels fell off the wedding. I didn't know weddings had wheels. Oh well, learn something new every day, don't you? My tip for everyone right now is do not touch your finger with soldering irons. Would do a post-war one. I mean, sorry. Oh, fair enough. Fair. The symbol being mentioned. Yeah, it's a German symbol used by a former German government. Well, we have got away without mentioning the name of the symbol so far, and I'd like to keep it that way if we can. Got love symbols meant for good but used for evil. And by love I mean utterly hate it. Yeah, it's a shame when these things get appropriated like that, isn't it? Look at that, the roof's on properly. So it's not really, because I've messed up this back end a little bit just then. But not enough that I can't correct it. That's better, I think. Okay, there's your wave, Christopher. Well, I called it the German one. No, I knew what you were doing and I appreciated it, Sophia. I was just letting everyone else know as well. Anywho, on to happy subjects. I finally have a TARDIS per Doctor now. Whoa, hey. I approve of a TARDIS per Doctor. No, don't be stuck to the carriage. I think you stuck this end actually. There we go. Well, one's still a heavy work in progress, but hey, work in progress is better than not existing at all. I've got lots of things that are works in progress. There we go. Once the roof's on, will you be painting the carriage? Yes, but there's more to do before the roof goes on. But, look at that. There we go. In fact, I'll be painting it before the roof goes on, Lewis. My brain is a work in progress every day. Very good, Bob. Very good. The other is my 8th Doctor one that is going to be a mashup of the 13th and 5th Doctor TARDIS because of the fact both have useful parts to bash together. Makes sense. But I have, while soldering this, managed to move the rain strip, which is not going to be easy to get back in place without doing up damage in other bits. I think I've done it. Yes. Done. So, where's my pen? There's my pen. Fit roof fence and rain strips. So the next thing to do is the painting and glazing and interior partitions and seating and all that jazz. Most of which I am not doing as we have tonight, as we have discussed. What we can do is interior partitions. Those can be done tonight, and will be. Preferably without me hitting the camera, because, you know, it's very unlike me to hit the camera. Look at that, perfect height. One, two, three, just need another 4 of those, and I've already got a strip I can cut them from. So that's 2 more. That's 3 more. And that's 4 more. Is it truly a successful stream without hitting the camera? You know what, I think you're right. I think you are right. Now that I've cut those out, I am going to refill the hydration vessel. I say, you can tell this is a successful week streaming wise, because when I pressed the button to flick over to the camera and the microphone and shout my intro, the microphone worked because I'd actually done an audio test. I know, right? I was shocked as well. That's lovely how that squeaks there. I really hope that squeak isn't picking up too much your end. Testinals, who are you? I'm a real carry. I have locked him up elsewhere. Well, I even bought in my headphones so I could plug them in to do my audio test. Save the ring, Harry. So those headphones used to live in here until I got my VR. But I want to get new headphones for my VR. Because my VR is black and my headphones are white. I mean, by the same logic, everything in here is black and they're white, so, you know. Obviously, I just need to replace them outright. So you say for the real Gary as if there is one, and I'm not just some disembodied hands attached to a chatbot. Can you really see the white headphones with VR headset on? I mean, no. What's your point? So the VR headset lives on display and has the headphones on it. So when it's on display and not being used, it would look better if it was black headphones. I mean, disembodied hands in a Batman t-shirt, obviously. Actually, it's an Atari one today, but never mind. We'll claim it's Batman. Hydration is important, says the bot. Yeah, as far as me wanting to get new headphones to go with my VR headset, you're questioning the aesthetic choices of someone who built a recording studio for a YouTube channel that at the time had about 300 subscribers. Do I make good life choices? No. But do I care that they look like good life choices? Yes. Never mind how many subscribers I had when I bought a gaming laptop so that I could edit videos better. And 2 cameras and condenser mics and yeah. Talking of aesthetics, I feel like I need some Batman memorabilia to go in here. It seems like it would be a terrible decision not to have that in here. Train. Wait, bat anything. I could call this a bat soldering iron and that would be Batman. I assume he probably had one on his utility belt. He had everything else there. There we go. One partition in. I've heard a Batman. I've heard that Batman wears a Gary t-shirt. It's true. The rumours are true. Bat soldering iron is a thing, much bigger shape, similar to a cricket bat. I heard Mickey Mouse wears a Rodney Trotzer wristwatch. Of course. Of course. I mean, if you want to be as cool as Batman and wear a Gary t-shirt, exclamation mark merch in the chat. Oh, there's a big lump of solder here and it just won't melt. There we go. Got it. No, she'll take you to the shop. The shop which now has international postage. So if people want to buy stuff from me to be shipped abroad, you can now. And I will ship it. Something which I only set up because I was asked about it on the live stream. Talking to Santa Specialist, I watched Polar Express for the first time. Why? Every year that gets watched in this house. Hot. Much better. Much better, Sophia. So what did you think of the Polar Express, starring Tom Hanks, and co-starring Tom Hanks? Hydration is important. dubbed totally Hankless. Well, that's terrible. I'm pretty sure I even gave the right amount of Tom Hankses there. I do believe he has 5 roles. Try and take a train across an ice sheet. I mean, I'd rather not try that. I'm not sure they understand how trains work. Tell me Tom Hanks plays unnamed little girl. I don't believe he does. He's the little boy. He's the conductor. He's the hobo. He's Santa. He's the narrator. I've got a feeling he's also the annoying one, but I could be wrong. So he might be more. The dad in Polar Express is Tom Hanks' dad, and is not played by Tom Hanks. That is true. But he does have at least 5 roles in that film. Someone look it up for me. How many parts does Tom Hanks play in the Polar Express? There we go. Whatever that was getting stuck to is now dealt with. There we go. All the partitions are in. Alec Guinness played 9 characters in Kind Hearts and Coronets. It's just too many. Stop doing these things, people. You know it's gone past 10:30, so I should probably ask you all what you are up to this evening whilst I sit here and burn myself. I mean, if I didn't burn myself, how would I even know I was making a brass kit, to be fair? But look, we have partitions in all the compartments now. And we have a roof. Sending into Lyd Airfield. You should, I mean, I don't advise flying a plane whilst watching things at all. Finish sewing, just watching. Ah, someone just watching. Am I entertaining enough for that? Although I suppose it is nearly bedtime, isn't it? Oh, look, there's a link to my Instagram. It's totally worthwhile going there. I don't only use it to say I'm going to be going live. 52 does nothing fast. Well, it's true. It's very true. Polishing up some Mallard pulley wheels. Ooh, nice. Cutting plywood with a scalpel blade and then running my mainline manor class number 7823 Hook Norton manor. I'm not sure I approve of cutting plywood with a scalpel blade. That sounds like way too much effort. Buy a saw. Don't advise visiting Lid. But you make a good point, to be fair. So the only thing this needs doing that we can actually do this evening is fitting the grab handles on the doors and stuff. Grab handles and what they called the other bits, door handles. Duh. Door handle, grab handle. See, I know what I'm doing. These are the door handles. There's just a couple of them. These are the grab handles. It's only one of those. But before we do that, who wants to see something very big? Because I'm going to go and grab some vacuum pipes. Look at me remembering the English language. I'll be back in a second. So, I have no idea where my bag of vacuum pipes is. But yeah, for those that don't know, I bought something slightly bigger than my usual 00 scale the other day. Let's move this out of the way. So this will be a fun one to play with at some point. Just a slight bit bigger than 00. Not too big at all. Find them straight after the stream. I will, won't I? They are rolled up and they are inside my meter box. Well, the bag is rolled up and inside my meter box, and I have no idea where my meter box is. But yeah, that's going to be a fun toy. Live Steam, and it all works. Thought it was going to be Rocket. Yeah, I mean, for those that knew I had it, it was quite obvious that's what it was going to be, wasn't it? A 3.5-inch gauge. I'm going to have to build something in the garden for it, I think. So you see that my 001's like half the length of the tender for the whole thing. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's had a replacement fuel tank fitted in the back, which is metal. So the one they come with is plastic. And they also come with a plastic pipe going from the fuel tank to the engine. You see, that's been replaced as well. And the paperwork that came with it says the fuel tank has been tested up to 400 psi. Well, I hope nothing in this thing ever gets anywhere close to 400 psi. Because I don't think it would survive. But yeah, I definitely think we're going Garden Railway here. I'd love to get some carriages to go with it. Although I am aware these things are extremely weak and can barely move themselves, never mind carriages. Plus, what I paid for this, and I have the complete boxed set of it. So I've got all... Surely that's a typo for 40. No. It is not. It is 400. I don't get why they would do that, but that is what it says. But yeah, so I know they're extremely weak and can barely pull themselves, never mind carriages. But the real problem with getting carriages for it is the set. So this, the track, all the accessories, all boxed in the original box, cost me not much more than what the carriages are currently selling for on eBay each. So they might wait a bit. But isn't she gorgeous? So that's my new live Steam toy. She's not been fired since I got her home and probably won't be for a while. She's certainly got a bit more presence than O-Gauge though. I mean, that's where my camera normally... This is where my camera normally sits and gets everything I'm working on. And my hands and other stuff. Someone's selling one that's been broken up for parts on eBay as well, so I might grab some spares. Maybe a new boiler, because they've got the boiler sat on there. Carriages. Back to carriages now. So along here, you're already bent there, and I'm never getting that kink out, so I'm going to bend you there. We want L-shaped. There we go. We want L-shaped grab handles that go into holes here and here, and then we've got the door handle here. Does that mean you missed it, Thomas? My nice big modelling project. Don't flick yourself in the face with a bit of brass, everyone. It really hurts. Oh, right across my eye as well. That was painful. This thing, it just kind of, yeah, in my face. Caught a glimpse of it. Fair enough. Hydration is important. So I don't mind wasting this end bit, because it already had a kink in it. But if I can use that to work out the sizes I want to cut for these, I will be happy. That really hurts across my eye. Seriously, don't do that. Doesn't look like I've damaged anything. Yeah, the idea of this bit is just to work out how big these actually need to be. Because if I can get an easy way of making them, what I really need is a jig or some etched ones. Neither of which am I getting right now. Screwdriver I wanted, but sure. Okay. No one ever promised this modelling lark wasn't fiddly. Which is a shame, because I'd love to have someone to blame it on. I'd say, oh, you told me this wouldn't be fiddly. And there we are. One grab handle. See, it's not that bad. It just takes patience and flicking yourself in the eye. And who can't do that? There's no South Eastern and Chatham carriage next week, but there will be a live stream. We'll be on South Park Quarry doing some shunting. And I know you'll all turn out to that, because I looked at the poll and it told me that none of you want me to do shunting live streams. So you'll definitely all be there for that one, obviously. That's how that works, right? Please tell me that's how that works. Currently resting in the blue 4 for row. I have no idea what to do yet. You mean the answer to what to do with it isn't paint it grey? That would be very much appreciated, Christopher. And we may come watch on live stream, Gary. Excellent, thank you, Lewis. We may, the weekend after, for something really different, if I can get myself a hold of a second monitor to watch the chat on, have a gaming live stream. There's a weird one for you, isn't it? But I'm only doing it if I can get my hands on a second monitor. All I want is a little 7-inch one. Right, I'll cut you exactly the same as the last one. Why are you wrong? Bye then. Under the laptop. That's annoying. I'm getting you out from there. A train, indeed a train game. We won't go that far off key. Where's the screwdriver I actually wanted? There it is. Why am I poking it with that when I could be poking it with these? Oh, this bit does not want to bend at all. No, not Train Simulator. I am not a Train Simulator player. No, not trains either. Lovely to leave this evening. Good to be back in family off the dream of turntables. Thanks for a great stream this evening. Stay safe and happy Christmas to all. Well, thank you for coming, Bob. It has been great to have you here again. I look forward to seeing what you do with the turntable. So I think that kit's going to go really well there. And I shall look forward to some pictures when you've got one. Have a good one. Good night and all that jazz. Railroads Online. Indeed, Railroads Online. You got there in the end. Oh, you're still on wood, or have you moved up to oil? Still on wood. We go also, I spent a very long time waiting for COVID tests. Welcome, Andy. Sorry you've had to wait for COVID tests. I hope you are okay. Postmaster G's by all. Excellent. I shall look forward to seeing those, Bob. Good night, Merry Christmas, and all that jazz. Wish it was Derail Valley. Well, the problem with that is being able to play Derail Valley on stream and being able to read chat. because of course Derail Valley I play on my VR headset. Two breakthrough cases in my son's class. Well, that sucks. There we go. We got the hand in that time. There. Words. I can word. In fact, let's. I can blue tack them because I'm clever and remember that blue tack's a thing. And I can do them all and solve them all afterwards. What VR headsets had things so you can check the chat on your wrist. So they might do. I have not explored it enough to do that. I have literally my Derail Valley in is literally drive some trains around. Well, on the ground safe, that's it for FS tonight, methinks. Well, I mean, safe on the ground is a good place to end flying. In fact, I find safe on the ground is the best place to end flying. But yeah, maybe it does. I'll have to look into it, Thomas, because you know I'm not against playing some Derail Valley at some point. But I should stress that I'm not going to be regularly doing gaming ever. That is not what I want to do. This is because it's Christmas thing. Time to look at some. Oh, you mean you don't want to go free? I haven't tempted you to go to 3.5 inch. Sadly not. On the ground in Leeds, yes. Safe, no. It's not that bad. Oh, he's nice. Yes, of course. Andy is an own scale modeler. My little plane person is still in the cockpit. I want to leave again. Look, can I tempt you to 3.5 inch, Andy? It's nice and early as well. Not nice and big, this 3.5 inch stuff. Especially when put next to my 00. Anything but HO. Fair enough. It's neat time night. Oh, good night, Paderborn. Sleep well. Don't work too hard. Merry Christmas and all that. Hydration is important. Is that 1980s Hornby? It's 1970s actually, because the box is marked Rovex Limited, so it's got to be pre-78. But yeah, it's very nice. Just thinking as I have lots in double O's and ink on it, so as I would have room for the same in O, why not cash in my double O and go for O? I mean, it's a perfectly valid reason to do it. I've been dying for a drink. Yeah. That's right, they even sold those here in the States. Oh, really? Excellent. It came into the shop the other day. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to have that. And so I did. When it came in, I took a picture of it. I showed the kids the picture and said, can I have this? Like, yeah, fine, you can have that. Like, it's an actual live, it's an actual steam engine. Like, yes, of course you can have it. So I brought it home the next day. My daughter walks in and sees it on the dining table. Looks at me and goes, it's how big? So I don't think she was properly paying attention when I showed her the picture and asked if I could have it. Oh, I'm not very good at it, am I? One of the hobby magazines stateside, the editor ran his right into almost exactly this big. Yeah, exactly, Killian. So it's kind of it's got everything except the instructions. Everything else was included. So I was quite happy with that. Personally, I think my daughter should have been less worried about the size of it and more appreciated the fact I said, can I have this? Oh, and whoever decided to not put in pre-bent handrails, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Quite agree, yeah. The instructions are scanned and available online. If you'd like me to send them. Oh, no, if you could, that would be very helpful, yes. I mean, I kind of know how it works. It'd just be nice to have them to refer to when I forget, which I will. Roxy Sill, Edge SCR pattern grab handles, spot back at all on your next order. I know they do. I know they do. I will be placing a Roxy order in January. Sprung buffers, few carriages. You didn't go under the laptop, so you can come here. That we've nearly got a whole side with grab handles on. You know what, at this point you can just go all the way through. There we go. They are all in. Rather you didn't do that, actually, Carriage. Isn't it a shame the South Eastern and Chatham didn't have a livery of bare brass and flux corrosion? Because I'd basically be done now. Oh, and obviously highlights in solder for that livery. If any of them aren't quite stuck, it's just this one here. There we go. Grab handles all in place and sort of shining, because that's the only way you're seeing them with it. There we go. Proper focus where it's meant to be. You still can't see them very well, can you? Darn it. They've all gone completely silver. Now I've got another side to do. So many handles for so many doors. Well, they've still got door handles to add yet, actually, Andy. This is just the grab handles on the outsides of them. Punch the camera. That was more of a shoulder barge into the boom, but you know, same effect. No, you're gonna have to go this way around, otherwise you're gonna confuse me. I feel like after so many live streams doing this carriage and saying finishing, that when I do the review I'm going to be like, no really, we finished the build. We're done with that bit now. Oh look, there's a link to the Discord. That means we're getting close to finishing. The Discord's a great place to come and hang out. It's where many cool things happen. And you get the first offers in the shop. Because, you know, for those that aren't aware, shop now with international postage. So you can buy all your model railway stuff from me. Interesting repostage. Yeah, so someone mentioned it the other day. They said, oh, I'm here, can you post to here? And I said, unfortunately not at the moment. So I went into the shop on the Tuesday afterwards and set up some international postage. And went and looked into it all. And there's the link from Sophia's shill command, because apparently I'm a shill. Who'd have thought it? Your own shop, how dare you? I know, right? I mean, when I set up the command, it wasn't actually my shop, I just worked there. But, you know, full disclaimer, it's my shop. Currently seeking an NCR Terrier for a switching project. I will keep you in mind if any come in. At the moment, I have nothing in well, that's not. I have nothing on the website for N-scale locomotives. What I do have is some Belgian Bobo diesels in the shop. That is it. Just stabbed my finger with a screwdriver. That was stupid. Don't do that again. That's my advice. Have you done it as well as I did it that time I went all the way through my finger? Do you have any English double O gauge locomotives? Absolutely loads of them. Gladly not, but it did draw jam. That's not good. Yeah, I've got plenty of double O locos, including some bits that haven't been added to the website yet. Came in the other day, such as a rail freight class 20. some pocket rockets, and a tender drive Flying Scotsman with original pattern Great Northern Railway tender. So as far as the condition goes, technically a pre-grouping loco. Although Scotsman itself wasn't built until after the grouping. That was impressive. Where did you go after that landing? It went up to the ceiling, bounced off, landed on my light. There you are. Rolled off the light and landed on my lap. And in fact, I found another one on my lap. I'm looking for a class 20. Well, I have a class 20. It should make an appearance on my website on Tuesday, provided I get time. I'm not intending to do it again, but my TARDIS roof wouldn't come off. Your TARDIS roof wouldn't come off, and it upset you so much you stabbed yourself. It's an interesting reaction. Is it double O gauge? Yes, that's why I listed it on my when I was listing my double O that's just come in on the stuff that hasn't appeared on the website yet. Any O? No, we don't stock O. Well, that's almost a lie. We don't generally stock O. I have some ballhead track. Code 124 O gauge fine scale. Only flexi. I've got 8 lengths of it. No, I was trying to pry it off and then the roof suddenly came off, sending the screwdriver into my left index finger. I'm going to pretend that you got really frustrated and stabbed yourself because you were so frustrated with it not coming off. And you can't stop me pretending that. But since you're planning an Inglenook, Christopher, there is a chance I can get you some O-gauge wagons that are quite unique. Because I do believe my specialist wagon commissioner is going to be doing some O-gauge. He did one O-gauge wagon last year. I had 2 off of him. They took forever to sell. Another reason that we, every so often we test the water with the O-gauge and the market just isn't there in Eastbourne, unfortunately. Never stabbed myself out of anger. Goes against my rules and codes of conduct. I mean, it's just generally a bit of a stupid thing to do as well. Stabbing oneself in general is against them, but especially in anger. Fair enough. I'm still going to pretend that's what you did. At least I can provide video evidence that most of my injuries are just caused by stupidity. Not that you should ever doubt that, because there's plenty of that going around. Especially around here. Oh, and also, as well as pretending that's what you did, I'm also going to pretend it worked. Right, the TARDIS saw you did it and was like, yeah, you know what, let's do what this guy says. Fair enough. Well, on the bright side, at least it was a screwdriver, not my scalpel. Ruddy darling. That's still stay. Yes. I'm not sure if the scalpel would be better or worse, actually. The scalpel's going to be sharper, so it's going to give a cleaner cut. But it's also going to go deeper. Whoever decided that carriages need this many compartments, they were wrong. I want them to know that. Go by the fact I only jammed a little bit versus what happened post Dalek. So I'll take the screwdriver. Fair? Fair. There we go. Grab handles now also on this side. So it really is just the door handles to add. And then it's off to the paint shop. Feels good. I mean, it needs a damn good clean before it goes off to the paint shop. But that's not the point. Because otherwise, even the primer will just fall off. Etched door handles. Oh, look, and there's a link to Facebook. No one uses the Facebook, not even me. I had such big plans for that when I set it up. And it just never really got big enough for them to come alive. 7 down each side. I've got a lot more than that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're all there. Wouldn't the grab handles have been better fitted post-paint? So if you decided you wanted them brass coloured, you could obviously super glue and post-paint rather than soldering. Yes. Yes, they would have. And in fact, that is what the instructions suggest. However, the problem is the wire for the grab handles isn't brass coloured. Probably doesn't show up on camera. But the wire is silver. And the grab handles are brass. So they would stand out being wrong. Whereas what I can do with having them on there is I can paint them the same afterwards. But yeah, the instructions say do it after, but then what else was I going to do? I am glad you noticed that though, it means you're paying attention. Why do these things keep thinking they can be lost? We don't lose things on this live stream. That grab handle's in the way. Let's get this big chunk of flux out the way at least. Sometimes I really wonder how my camera comes up with what it's supposed to be focusing on. Seeing it sitting here focusing on this is one of those times. There we go, that should go in there now. And it did. And then I pulled it back out because I didn't press the glue tack down hard enough. That was clever. So that is 6 of them in place. Just 1 to go. If I can avoid dropping it. Or throwing it up in the air. I felt it land on my arm. It's over here somewhere. But honestly, with the number of them I've got, it might be easier to just say, no, you can stay gone. Because I'm not sure on them. And I mean that there's 10 minutes until the end of the live stream. I'd rather not spend all of those minutes looking for a part that is non-essential. So then, just as we did with the grab handles, we blob a bit of solder in the back, a bit of flux on the back. Onto the back of the handle and the inside of the door. And then we apply solder. And then of course the real test is pulling the blue tack back off. and seeing if they stay in place. This bit of blue tack really does not want to come off. I think this is the only one that's got any blue tack stay behind. Interesting kit addition, that 3D numbers. Not 3D numbers. I mean, you get those on some kits, but these are door handles. I'll just pop that. That's proper. They all look like threes. My bad. Fair enough. Fair enough. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. All there. Excellent. Sounds good, Gary Reader Wagons. Excellent. So I'm pretty sure he's doing some more O-Gauge this year. I should have a brochure of him at some point in the nearish future. And I'll let you know. Currently testing out my new siding on my layout. Well, hey! New siding. I approve of new sidings. God, did any of you see that? That literally hit the lens of the camera. Cool to look through. Yeah, so as I say, he's placed all his orders for his wagons for 2022 now. So I'm just waiting for the brochures off him. And he did tell me he's going to be doing more O, but I don't know how much. Ow, that one hit me in the head. Probably stuck in my hair now. That one hit me in the head as well. And that one was stuck in my hair. Proof new sidings down here. As I was typing it out. 3D stream. Yeah, it's a good job we don't have 3D streams, isn't it? Damn thing coming in and bouncing off the camera lens. If you saw this stream in an IMAX, you'd have got hit in the head with it. Head shunt and then allows the locomotive to go alongside the main loop or switch on to the main loop. Excellent, Lois. Give it 20 years and screens and live streams will be one way portals so that we'll all end up with bits of coaches and things everywhere. You're giving it 20 years? I reckon this will all be holograms long before that. You'll be able to really follow along then. It'll be holograms, it'll be broadcast to such detail you'll be able to zoom in and go inside the model I'm making. It's the optimistic guess. I bet the realistic guess will be 50 years. See, I think you're just going too far in the future. I think it's going to be much quicker. Well, there we go. The answer is no, I couldn't make it, technically. Well, I say that. I've got 20 seconds. At least I won't have to witness that then. Look at you. See, now it's you making jokes about your age. God. So there we go, it's midnight. Technically, I didn't make it. But am I ending this stream before I do it? No. Considering where we're currently set to making screens higher rates over 6 months, we don't need anything past 2K, honestly. Don't happen for a while. Yeah, it will happen. It's the next step. Pumpkin time. Pumpkin rather than pumpkins, I think, Thomas. Only 17 at the moment. Look at Lewis rubbing it in there, Sophia. Look at that. That's just mean of him, isn't it? It's alright though, Sophia. I don't wish I was 17 either. I'm quite happy to not be there anymore. Right then. Off comes the blue tack. On stays the door handles. Yes, they do. Even making me feel old on 26. Yeah. Old Thomas. Friends on the live stream, thank you for coming. It has been great to have you all here. I have thoroughly enjoyed live streaming. There we go. We have a carriage. It is done. That is the build done. The next thing to do is paint it and then glaze it. But, you know, we'll forget that we have to glaze it as well and fit buffers. I probably want to do that before painting it, actually. It's going to get sprung markets buffers, as I've said, so I probably want to get the buffer shanks soldered on. So we might not see this for a little while now, whilst I wait for those, because I know markets can be difficult with deliveries. So this will come back once we're ready for it and have the parts. Thank you, Jerry Carl. It's great. Thank you, Andy. Huzzah, well done, sir. Thank you, Christopher. Ooh, pretty. Thank you, Sophia. It is, isn't it? I rather like it. Let's put its younger, much larger cousin in there as well, shall we? Let's hope the next lockdown can wait 5 weeks. Hey ho. Yeah, the sooner we get the sooner we don't get another lockdown, the better. So that is those. The back of those is now in the same place. So yeah, there we are. The build is done. Next week we will be back. We're doing some shunting on South Park Quarry with the new 2-camera setup. So I would love you guys to be there for some feedback, and remember to be prepared to do some shunting. Not going to guarantee my brain will be fully with it that evening. So yeah, that'll be a nice, fun, relaxing one. I'll celebrate my quarter century properly, even if a year late. Yep, fair enough. Hopefully it manages it. 25 plus 1, just like the Bluebells 60 plus 1 this year. Great stream as usual. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, Hillside Junction. Yeah, it's been fun as per the usual. Thank you. Me first. We'll see how quickly you can get in there when I ask for volunteers. And so, yes, thank you for watching. It has been great. I've been Gary. This has been Let's Build. You've been awesome as always. Good night.